So this past weekend, the undisputed bantamweight women's king, the undisputed women's featherweight king collided at 145. I think it was a real test of, would we see if the speed and power would equate going up in weight for Amanda Nunes facing the powerful Cyborg? And it did. It blew me away. I was so shocked at the outcome of this fight. It was, when you put two alpha females together in the middle of an octagon, two girls that are used to going forward, not backing up, used to pressing the action, being the power puncher, something had to give. Something did give in this fight. I really didn't expect it to happen this soon, though. I thought we'd see a little bit more tactical games, maybe a little bit of a feeling out process. There was none of it, though. Both of these women stepped foot inside the cage, ready to take one another out, entertain the crowds, entertain the audience. And unfortunately for Cris Cyborg, it wasn't her night. The thing that really started the process of taking Cris Cyborg out for Amanda Nunes was the first low kick. If you saw this, she threw a hard right leg low kick, knocked Cris Cyborg off balance, and from there she was able to land a very clean right hand. I was there at the show. As soon as I saw this right hand land, it let me think this is more of what's to come. It was so accurate. It was so on point. Although Cris Cyborg was a bit off balance from the kick, or she was off balance from the kick, the right hand landed with such precision and accuracy and great range that it set up more and more of to come. Cris Cyborg was slightly hurt from that, I feel, because since that right hand that landed after the kick, she pressed forward kind of angrily. And it kind of got her into trouble. They got into a firefight, and it was the speed. It was the speed of Amanda Nunes that was able to get by Cris Cyborg. Her power carried over beautifully. We've never seen Cris Cyborg taken out like this. She hasn't lost a fight since her pro debut. She's been 13 years or so undefeated, and she gets taken out like this in the first round. I really felt bad for her. I was happy for Amanda Nunes, but at the same time, I've trained with Cyborg. I'm a fan of Cyborg. She's such a hardworking woman. It was a mixture of emotions watching this fight. But to see Amanda Nunes go in there, take out one of the most feared women we have ever seen in the sport in Cyborg, and do so in that type of devastating fashion, and then be the first women's double champ. When she was hoisted up on her coach's shoulders and carried out of the octagon, I promise you that is a moment that will live on in her memory forever, and a lot of fans' memories as well. That was a beautiful moment. I was so happy that I got to witness it in person. And then you could see the emotions just running through her. When the fight was over, she went and laid inside the octagon and just laid on her back and started to weep, it seemed like, out of joy. You could tell she put so much into this, and I think a lot of people didn't really give her a chance against the bigger, stronger Cyborg. At the end of the day, precision striking, the speed of Nunes, and the reach made a difference. Cyborg and Nunes only have a 1-inch reach difference. So Cyborg is 68 inches in reach, and Amanda Nunes is 69 inches in reach. There's only 1 inch in reach in total arm to arm. But the reason that she uses her reach so well is Cyborg is a little bit more wider frame, more muscular. So her reach isn't necessarily in the arm, it's in the finger to finger. Amanda Nunes is a little more narrow in the torso, in the lats, but her arm reach from shoulder to finger are longer, and you can see that in the fight. It was evident that when they would throw punches simultaneously, the punches were landing more so for Amanda Nunes because of the angle that she threw them, her looping over the top right hand that would always landed, and because she was faster, and again, because of that little bit of reach that she had on her, she was able to take out Cyborg. It was an amazing fight for Nunes. I'm excited to see what the future brings for her. She is undoubtedly the GOAT in women's MMA. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm very curious to see what the future holds for Cris Cyborg. That was the end of her contract, so she is now a free agent. I really, really hope that the UFC does not let her go. But let me say one thing about Cris Cyborg. The way that she handled herself in defeat was pure class. I see guys in the back of the locker room, and they are just crying. I've had my moments where I had to go and I take a shower and clean up after a loss, and I just let my emotions run. It's hard to contain yourself, to control yourself because of the loss, because of not being able to follow through for your fans. It's a lot of mixture of emotions going through you after a loss. You feel like you let so many people down. But it actually helps the fans when you see somebody like Cris Cyborg handle herself the way she does, if that makes any sense to you. Because if we saw her not wanting to face the media and crying, then it would almost we would almost carry through some of those emotions, carry her emotions in with us. But when she handles herself with such dignity and class like she did, it makes us say, wow, she is a true champion. It wasn't her night, but she's a champion, and she handles herself in championship caliber the way she handled defeat. For all up-and-coming fighters, if you were able to handle yourself like that, I would advise doing that. It was inspiring for me to see somebody like her lose with such class and dignity. Congratulations to Amanda Nunes. More fun fights to come in the future. Take care, guys.